Welcome to the Stoic Golden Tribe, the brotherhood where men rise from pain, master their emotions, and rebuild their power. Every story shared here is a reflection of a man's journey through heartbreak, confusion, and growth towards strength, wisdom, and peace. Today's message is one that every man at some point must face. You can't fix her. You can only fix yourself. Most men try to love harder when things fall apart. They try to explain, convince, and repair what's already cracked beyond their control. But what if the real work was never about her? What if it was always about you, your mind, your standards, your inner balance? Because when you fix yourself, everything around you begins to shift. How people treat you, how you see love, and how peace finally feels. Stay with me. This one might just change how you see relationships forever. This is Don't Try to Fix Her, Fix Yourself, and Watch Everything Change. Chapter 1. The Mistake Men Make, Trying to Fix Her. Every man who's ever loved deeply has fallen into this trap, the illusion that he can fix her. He sees her pain, her confusion, her chaos, and something inside him whispers, I can heal her. I can save her. If I just love her enough, she'll change. But that voice, though noble in intention, often comes from a place of fear. The fear of losing her, the fear of not being enough, the fear of being abandoned. And that's how men begin to trade their peace for her problems. You start doing things that go against your nature, tolerating disrespect, overlooking red flags, pretending to be okay when you're quietly breaking inside. You think your patience will earn her love, but what it really earns is her loss of respect. You become her emotional safety net, her therapist, her savior, and slowly, without noticing, you lose yourself. Here's the harsh truth. You can't fix someone who benefits from staying broken. Some people don't want healing. They want attention. They don't want peace. They want control. And when you try to fix that, you end up becoming part of the problem. In your attempt to be her hero, you forget that no one is ever attracted to the man who abandons himself. You can love her, yes, but you must never lose yourself in the process. Strong men don't chase emotional chaos. They observe it, learn from it, and grow past it. Because the truth is simple. If she's not willing to meet you halfway, your effort becomes self-destruction, disguised as devotion. You see, the more you try to fix her, the more she sees you as weak. Not because you're a bad man, but because you're operating from emotion, not from power. A woman doesn't follow the man who tries to save her. She follows the man who saves himself. And once you understand that, you stop chasing peace in other people and start creating it within yourself. That's when the shift begins. That's when your silence becomes louder than your words. So remember this. You're not her project manager. You're not her emotional mechanic. You're a man, and your role is not to fix chaos, but to master your response to it. Because the moment you stop trying to fix her, you start fixing yourself. Drop a comment below. Have you ever tried to fix someone and ended up losing yourself in the process? Chapter 2. Why you should fix yourself. First, every man wants to be loved, respected, and understood. But very few understand that respect doesn't begin with her. It begins with you. You can't demand loyalty, peace, or emotional balance from a woman when you haven't built those things inside yourself. You attract what you reflect. When your mind is scattered, your emotions unstable, and your purpose unclear, you create relationships that mirror that chaos. That's why self-work isn't selfish, it's survival. Because if you don't fix yourself, every relationship you enter will turn into another battlefield where your wounds meet hers. The strongest men are not the ones who never feel pain. They're the ones who turn that pain into wisdom. They understand that healing isn't about blaming women or the past. It's about facing the man in the mirror and asking, what part of me keeps choosing this pain? When you start to fix yourself, something powerful happens. Your silence starts speaking louder than your words. You no longer react to her mood swings, her distance, or her drama. You stop arguing just to prove a point. You stop chasing validation because you already validate yourself. You move differently, calmer, wiser, grounded. And women can feel it. The world can feel it. That energy and that peace is magnetic. You stop needing to convince anyone of your worth because your presence does it for you. Fixing yourself isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming aware. It's about asking yourself the hard questions. Why do I tolerate what disrespects me? Why do I keep trying to prove my worth through someone else's approval? Why do I keep expecting peace from chaos? Every man who begins that inner work starts to see that his biggest battle was never with her. It was always with his own unhealed self. Most men don't realize this until they've been broken. Until they've loved someone so hard they lost themselves. Until they've been ignored, betrayed, or taken for granted, and had to crawl back from that emotional wreckage alone. That's when a man learns no one is coming to save you. You are the savior you've been waiting for. When you fix yourself, you no longer need to beg for love. You no longer chase validation. You no longer fear loss because you understand that real strength comes from the ability to let go. Fixing yourself means taking full ownership of your life, your thoughts, your emotions, your reactions. It means building habits that create stability instead of chaos. You hit the gym not to impress her, but to remind yourself that you are in control of your body and your discipline. You chase purpose, not people, because purpose is what gives your life direction when everything else falls apart. You learn to be silent when others expect a reaction, because peace is the greatest flex of a mature man. You begin to see that love without self-respect is slavery, and that no woman, no matter how beautiful or broken, is worth losing your sanity over. When you fix yourself, you stop chasing emotional highs and start seeking emotional balance. You stop arguing over nonsense because your peace costs too much to waste. There's a saying, a calm man is the most dangerous kind of man. He doesn't need to shout to prove his worth. He doesn't need to explain his decisions. He simply knows who he is, and that self-knowledge becomes his power. When a man heals, the entire way he experiences love changes. He doesn't fall for potential anymore. He chooses peace. He doesn't chase attention. He values respect. He doesn't beg for love. He builds it through consistency, boundaries, and emotional strength. That's why fixing yourself first is the only real solution. Because once you master yourself, you master your relationships. You stop trying to fix her because you realize that it was never about her. It was about the parts of you that needed healing, guidance, and discipline. When your spirit is stable, your emotions no longer control you. When your purpose is clear, you stop wasting time on people who distract you from it. And when your mind is healed, you finally understand. Peace is not something you find in a woman. It's something you bring to her. That's the difference between men who break and men who build. One keeps chasing love that drains him. The other becomes love, strength, peace, and direction. And everything in his life aligns with that energy. Fix yourself, brother, because once you do, the world changes how it moves around you. Her attitude changes, your energy changes, your focus shifts. The same situations that used to shake you now can't even reach you. That's the transformation no one tells you about. When you stop trying to fix others and finally become whole within yourself. Drop a comment below. What's one thing you're working on within yourself right now? Chapter 3. How fixing yourself transforms the relationship dynamic. When a man begins to fix himself, everything changes. Not instantly, but deeply. His silence starts to carry more meaning than his explanations. His calm presence begins to say what words never could. And the woman who once doubted him starts to sense it. Something feels different. He's no longer seeking validation. He's no longer begging to be understood. He's not chasing. He's simply being. When you fix yourself, you stop reacting. You no longer fall apart when she pulls away. You don't beg when she becomes distant. You don't over-explain to be seen or understood. Instead, you observe, you listen, you stay centered, because you've learned that your peace is not negotiable. This shift is powerful because it flips the dynamic. The man who once lost himself in her emotions now leads with emotional strength, and a woman by nature is drawn to leadership, not control, not manipulation or but direction. When you know where you're going, she can feel it. She can sense that your energy is rooted in something deeper than attention or affection. That's when her tone changes, her respect grows. She begins to mirror your energy, calmer, softer, more feminine, because your masculine stability gives her something she can relax into. You've stopped trying to fix her because you no longer need her to validate your worth. And paradoxically, that's what makes her see your worth even more clearly. Most men don't realize this truth. When you chase, she runs. When you detach, she reflects. Because your energy teaches her how to treat you. Fixing yourself changes how you respond, and your response changes how she behaves. You're no longer easily triggered by her moods. You stop feeding the drama with your reactions. You set quiet boundaries, not by arguing, but by acting. You show her that access to your time and peace must be earned, not demanded. And that's when attraction deepens, because now she sees something rare. A man who can't be manipulated by emotions, a man who stands firm in his values, even when he's tempted to break them. That kind of energy commands respect, not through force, but through discipline. Fixing yourself doesn't make you cold. It makes you clear. You don't love less, you love smarter. You don't stop caring, you just stop carrying what isn't yours to fix. You no longer take every argument personally. You no longer take her silence as rejection. You simply understand that her emotions are hers, not yours to control or heal. That's real strength, the ability to love deeply while staying emotionally independent. Because love should never be slavery, it should be partnership. Two healed people choosing to grow together, not two broken people trying to fix each other. And here's the beauty of it. When you fix yourself, she begins to feel safer. Not because you're solving her problems, but because your energy doesn't make her feel pressured anymore. She trusts your calm. She trusts your silence. She respects your boundaries. This is the shift that turns chaos into order. It's not magic, it's masculine alignment. The world moves differently around a man who knows himself. A woman moves differently around a man who doesn't need her to complete him. When you fix yourself, love stops being a battlefield. It becomes balance. There's no longer a war between masculine and feminine energy. There's understanding, respect, and polarity. She doesn't have to test your strength anymore because your strength speaks for itself. She doesn't have to question your confidence because your silence already answers it. You no longer need to convince anyone that you're worthy. You embody it. You no longer need to fight for peace. You are peace. And ironically, once you stop trying to fix her, she often starts fixing herself. Not because you demanded it, but because your discipline inspires her to rise. That's the hidden secret behind emotional mastery. Your growth silently teaches her how to grow too. Your calm creates safety. Your silence creates reflection. Your boundaries create respect. And your peace becomes contagious. That's the real transformation. Not when she changes, but when your growth forces everything around you to adjust. So fix yourself, and you'll notice. The same woman who once took you for granted now values your energy. The same conversations that used to turn into arguments now end in understanding. And the same love that once felt heavy now feels peaceful. You didn't fix her, you fixed the frequency. And once your frequency changes, the whole relationship starts to vibrate at a higher level. Because in truth, love isn't about control, it's about energy. And when your energy is healed, everything connected to you begins to heal too. Drop a comment below. Have you ever noticed that once you changed yourself, the way people treated you started to change too? Chapter 4: Practical Steps and Mindset Shifts for Growth, both self and relationship. Fixing yourself is not a one-time act. It's a lifelong discipline. It's choosing progress over comfort, awareness over emotion, and strength over reaction. Every man who decides to rebuild himself must understand one truth. Peace doesn't arrive by accident. It's built through daily decisions. 1. Rebuild your foundation. Before you can lead a woman, you must learn to lead yourself. Wake up with purpose. Move your body. Feed your mind with knowledge instead of noise. When your foundation is strong, your thoughts, your habits, your focus, you stop reacting to life and start directing it. Because a man who is rooted in discipline becomes untouchable by emotional chaos. 2. Redefine your worth. You are not valuable because someone stays. You are valuable because of who you become when they leave. Your worth is not built on affection. It's built on direction. Stop chasing validation. Stop proving your value. Let your focus and composure speak for you. Confidence is quiet. Desperation is loud. Choose silence. 3. Master emotional control. Fixing yourself means mastering your emotions, not suppressing them. Breathe before reacting. Stay calm when tested. Let your actions carry the message. You gain true power when peace becomes your default response to chaos. A strong man doesn't fight every battle. He chooses which ones deserve his energy. 4. Lead by example. A woman doesn't follow a man who tries to control her. She follows a man who controls himself. When you move with purpose, she feels secure. When you stay consistent, she feels trust. You lead not by words, but by direction. And direction is what every feminine heart respects. 5. Protect your peace. Love without boundaries turns into exhaustion. Learn to say no. Walk away from anything that costs your peace. Remember, silence is not weakness, it's self-respect. Every time you guard your energy, you remind the world that you value yourself. 6. Stay on your mission. Purpose is what anchors you when emotions try to pull you off course. Stay busy building. Stay focused. Let your results make the noise. When you're driven by mission, you stop chasing people and start attracting alignment, because a man walking in his purpose never has to beg for attention. His presence demands it. 7. Love from strength. Fixing yourself doesn't mean closing your heart. It means loving with clarity. You give, but you don't lose yourself. You care, but you don't collapse. You love deeply, but never from fear. The man who loves from strength never needs to beg for loyalty. His energy commands it naturally. Fixing yourself is about alignment, not perfection. You stop trying to control others and start mastering yourself. You stop expecting peace from people and start becoming the source of it. Because once you change your energy, everything around you begins to change too. You no longer chase love, you attract it. You no longer beg for peace, you embody it. So work on your habits, your thoughts, your silence, and your discipline. Because when you fix yourself, you won't have to fix anyone else. They'll rise or fade according to your growth. Drop a comment below. What's one thing you're improving within yourself right now to become the strongest version of you?